When you have a moment to yourself, what's the first thing you do? Do you automatically reach for your phone? In a world that's always buzzing, what if the biggest threat to your creativity isn't a lack of ideas, but a fear of silence? We're living in a time where every spare second is filled with podcasts, social media, and non-stop information. And this constant noise is shattering our ability to think deeply. The secret to unlocking your best ideas may not be in an app, but in a practice that's ancient, disconnecting and embracing silence. This is about discovering the immense power hiding in quiet, not loneliness, but intentional solitude. In our culture, being alone is often confused with loneliness, which is seen as a problem to fix rather than a gift to embrace. When someone eats alone or spends a weekend by themselves, we often feel pity or concern because we've been conditioned to see solitude as a failure. But solitude and loneliness are not the same. Loneliness is painful and involuntary, while solitude is a conscious, empowering choice. Loneliness feels like being locked in a cell, but solitude is like choosing a peaceful retreat. One drains you, the other energizes you. When we choose solitude, we're not escaping others, we're reconnecting with ourselves, and that makes all the difference. Our fear of being alone and our confusion between solitude and loneliness is costing us creativity, clarity, and peace. We've been so distracted by the world's noise that we've forgotten the quiet wisdom within. To reclaim that power, we must reframe solitude not as something to avoid, but as essential nourishment for the mind and soul. Solitude shifts how our brain functions. It activates the default mode network, which allows for daydreaming, self-reflection, and creative insights. This explains why our best ideas often arrive in the shower, during a quiet walk, or early in the morning, when the mind is free to wander. Studies show that solitude enhances activity in the prefrontal cortex, aids deep thinking, and may even help grow new brain cells in the hippocampus. By stepping away from constant stimulation, we allow the brain to process memories, regulate emotions, and form creative new connections. Great minds knew the value of solitude. Einstein said monotony and solitude stimulate creativity, while Tesla believed invention happens when we're alone. Artists like Georgia O'Keeffe, Virginia Woolf, and V.S. Gayton all retreated into solitude to create their best work. Solitude not only sparks big ideas, it also strengthens emotional regulation, self-awareness, and our ability to focus, which is a rare superpower today. Buddhism has long recognized solitude as a path to clarity and inner power, and its practices are deeply relevant to our modern, noisy lives. Meditation and mindfulness help us observe thoughts without judgment, allowing quiet insights to rise. Just sit, breathe, and gently return when your mind wanders. Walking meditations or wonder walks help the mind roam freely, encouraging openness, curiosity, and creative thought. Intentional retreats don't require a mountaintop. They can be as simple as a few screen-free hours or a solo weekend without digital noise. Creative escapes like visiting a museum, journaling in the park, or driving aimlessly can refill your mental tank and invite inspiration. Even short breaks from stimulation, like digital sunsets or early morning journaling, train the brain to associate certain times or spaces with focus and calm. Creating daily rituals around solitude, like using the same chair for writing or taking a walk alone each evening, helps build consistent, nourishing habits. You don't need long hours. Even 15 minutes a day of intentional silence can gradually change how your mind functions and feels. Putting solitude into practice takes patience. Start small, with 10 or 15 minutes a day, and allow yourself to feel bored or distracted at first. The point isn't perfection. It's simply learning to be at peace in your own company. Over time, your mind slows and deeper ideas emerge. Reframe your alone time as recharging instead of emptiness. Treat it like self-care and look forward to it as something sacred. Journaling during solitude acts like a conversation with your subconscious. Write freely, ask questions, and notice what bubbles up. Balance is key. Solitude isn't about isolation, but creating space to show up more fully and authentically in your relationships. Those who embrace solitude often report deeper connections because they've learned to connect with themselves first. Creativity flows in cycles. Sometimes we need silence to gather ideas, and sometimes we need community to share and refine them. By honoring these rhythms, we work with our creativity rather than against it. The journey into solitude is a journey back to yourself. It's a quiet act of rebellion in a world that constantly demands your attention. Silence isn't an escape. It's a space for your truest self to emerge. That's where the most original thoughts and deepest peace live. You don't need to search outside for breakthroughs. They're waiting within, in stillness. The path starts with one choice: to turn inward and give yourself the gift of undivided attention. If this message resonated with you, subscribe for more content on personal growth, creativity, and mindfulness. Now I leave you with a simple question to reflect on in your next quiet moment. What's waiting to be discovered in your silence?